What's up, guys? Back again for another episode of Subscriber Sundays. It's March 22nd, and I'm feeling pretty lazy, so I'm going to try to make a video without any cuts or edits or anything like that. We're just going to go right through with it. So, I'll get started on those in just a second, and just as a reminder, I've got a video, I posted my last video, asking van dwellers what their favorite thing to do in a van was, and there's a lot of great responses on that. If you haven't made a response, throw it in there, and I'm going to eventually make a video that's sort of, has all of those responses in there. So we'll go over the positive stuff with living in a van, and then maybe focus on more of the negative aspects in another video. But a couple of cool things I just got recently, and one I'm going to test out here in just a second. I might even test it out on this video. I found this on the street. Check this out. It's a Home and Away coffee maker travel kit. I don't know what year this is from, but it's awesome. It looks like 70s, 80s, maybe early 80s, late 70s. But it's in really good condition. It comes with little coffee holders, some cups, the maker here. You can plug it into your car outlet. And I checked on eBay, and there's people actually still selling these things that work. So if this is something that seems like you could use it, go for it. And this one has some old tea packages from like whenever it came out, 1970, whatever. Wagner's English Breakfast Tea. I'm probably not going to try that, but heck of a find, I would say. And what else we got here? I got this new hookah. I don't know if any of you guys are hookah enthusiasts, but this is a Maya Copa, which is kind of cool. It's pretty small, right? And it's got this, I'll just whip it out real quick here. So it's got a handle. So you can just carry it around like this and go about your hookah business. Of course, the coals might fall off, so you have to worry about that. But you know, it's just one of those things. So yeah, I might try out the coffee maker here in a little bit. So I'll probably have to have a cut for that, but we'll check it out. So to get started on the Subscriber Sundays questions, the first one is from, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Chong Nguyen, who asks, would a 24-hour restaurant be a good place to park? Well, that didn't work very well, did it? Okay, would a 24-hour restaurant be a good place to park? That's a good question. I think it just depends on a lot of things. How busy is the restaurant? Where is the restaurant? If you buy something at the restaurant, that might be a nice gesture where they will grant you access to sleep in their parking lot. Also, maybe you could just ask them. You could just say, hey, can I sleep overnight in this 24-hour restaurant? And, maybe they'll probably be really nice, unless they get that a lot, which, it probably just depends on where it is and stuff like that. Next question is from VanMeister94, who asks, what is the weirdest thing that's happened while living in a van? What is the weirdest thing that's happened while living in a van? I think still the weirdest thing that's happened to me was when I was threatened. There hasn't really been a lot of weird stuff since then. There was also the time that I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I heard like a microphone behind me. I have that in another video too, or not a microphone, but a like the intercom, the police intercom thing, and that was kind of strange, and I just left. But that was kind of the weirdest thing that's happened, other than being threatened. And then I've had like one or two like really strange dreams. Maybe that would be kind of an interesting thing to talk about. Like, what sort of weird van dwelling dreams have you guys had? Because I've had like 2 van dwelling dreams that I don't know how to interpret, but they were pretty wild, and maybe I'll explain those in a different video. But those are pretty much the weirdest things that have happened since living in a van. Next question is from Justin Jones, who asks, van dwelling with a dog. Justin Jones, Vandwelling with a dog. That's a really good question, actually. And I was thinking about this like 2 days ago. I would like to have a dog or a pet or, you know, some form of animal to take along with me on these trips. And I think it would be pretty easy to do, actually. The only problem is if you've got a normal job, that makes it a little bit more difficult. Like I've got to work at the movie theater gig that I have, and I don't know what I would do with the dog or the cat or whatever animal while I was at work. So that's kind of what's keeping me from getting one. But if you don't work, or maybe if your job, maybe you can do your job from your van. Maybe it's like an internet type job or something, maybe a freelance job. You know, if you're in your van a lot, you know, I don't see any reason why not to get a pet or some sort of, animal companion. I mean, as long as you're there to give it attention and to walk it, take it to the restroom, buy it food, you know, go for it, man. It sounds awesome. Next question is from Evanod D Prime, I think. Evanod D Prime. I just realized the text is probably backwards. We're just going to roll with it. You know, you get the basic idea. I'm reading it and then showing it to you. So, okay. Even, I wonder if it's Evan. No, it's Even. Oh, it's Even Odd Prime. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. It's Even Odd Prime. Okay. Even Odd Prime asks, why do I use public trans instead of driving? Mainly it's because parking in San Francisco kind of sucks. But also I think it's a little bit cheaper to use the public transit than paying for gas. And then also just not using the van as much. You know, I can leave it parked in areas and just kind of like just leave it there for a little while, and I don't really have to worry about finding another place to park it all the time. That's mainly the thing, is parking. That's mainly the reason why I use public transit instead of driving, is just because of the parking. If I lived in like Los Angeles or something, I would definitely drive probably everywhere, because I don't think the public transit's too great in Los Angeles. I mean, I know it's definitely a sprawl, so you have to drive already. So, and then also Even Odd Prime asks, explain your diet. And my diet is it's kind of it's very sporadic. Usually coconut water, pineapples, oranges, pizza. You know, unfortunately, you got to have the guilty pleasures. I love eating sandwiches, but there's not really any sort of pattern to my eating habits. It's kind of just like, if I'm hungry, I'll eat, but it's always stuff that's not gonna be terrible, you know, except for the pizza, I guess. And then occasionally I have like a burger or something. But usually it's like oranges and, coconuts, noodles, stuff like that. Oh, City Forest asks, how do you handle temperature issues? How do you handle temperature issues? Well, before, it really sucked because I didn't have insulation. And insulation's like a dream come true when you're living in a van, because it's, it protects you from cold, hot, whatever's going on. It kind of like normalizes the temperature in your van to a more reasonable level. But before that, it was extremely cold, and I just bundled up in a sleeping bag, and my face was always like really cold. Like I'd wake up and my face is just like freezing. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I just, now insulation, but before, just the sleeping bag. And there's a huge crow outside my window right now. Check this out. Actually, I don't know. That might be a raven. I don't know. What's the difference between a raven and a crow? Who knows? Alright, so first thing I need to do is clean this beast, probably. Because it probably hasn't been used since like 1978 or whenever this thing came out. So. Let's see. There we go. Out. So I've got the adapter. This is kind of cool. This actually came with the set here, and you can plug any sort of plug into that. You know, as long as it's not the 3-prong, and it's just a car adapter. So 12 volt. And you know, these things aren't healthy at all. So servings per container, 2, 33% sodium. Well, the thing doesn't work, sadly. Probably needs a new fuse or something, so I'll have to check that out.